Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast. I'm Charles Skaggs.
I'm Zan Sprouse.
Yeah, just barely. Zan's running a little rough today after the Elvis Costello concert, apparently.
I have Elvis Costello concert sexy voice.
Yes, you're all husky.
I've got Betty Davis eyes. For those of you who remember the Kim Carnes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right here on the countdown, I'm Casey Kasem.
Yeah. I went to see Elvis Costello, his Imperial Bedroom tour.
Ooh, very nice.
Where he played pretty much all of Imperial Bedroom and then some major hits. He did not do Town Crier, which is probably good because that's like a really slow song.
Okay.
So it's kind of fine with me that he left that out. It's a good song, but it is really slow, and it has like almost like string arrangement kind of sounds to it. So it's kind of better that he left it out.
I kind of have that kind of stuff with Peter Gabriel when he toured recently with Sting. That he left a lot of his slower numbers out.
Right.
So I feel you.
Yeah.
But how long did he play? Do you know? Roughly?
Oh my gosh, like 3 hours.
Seriously?
Show started at 8, and it was done by around 11 o'clock. It was Frey's Pavilion in Kettering.
Oh, okay. So you definitely got your money's worth then.
Oh yeah. And so of course, those of you around there know that Frey's is definitely has a sound ordinance because it is. Yeah. It is near a lot of residential areas, and it's in a residential area. It's a beautiful place. I don't know if you've ever been for a concert, but
no, I've never been.
The park itself is a really nice park, and the pavilion is a great place to see a show. It's about the size of the outside of, I don't know, what are we calling it now? Express Live.
Oh yeah, something like that.
Formerly the LC.
Formerly the LC. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And how this is not a
very small outdoor pavilion.
Right. It's not like the LC where it can be inside or outside. It is always outside, but it's like that. There's a little lawn, and then there's seating, and but yeah, he played
intimate setting.
Yes, it was an intimate setting, but he did play a lot of good older hits. There was Green Shirt, there was Watching the Detectives, there was Allison, there was Accidents Will Happen.
Pump It Up.
Yes, he did Pump It Up.
Nice.
He did What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding.
So he hit the big ones. Yes,
he did. And then like I said, most of Imperial Bedroom, which was great. I love that record. So it was a lot of fun. But woo! So, I do have kind of
So you have woo voice.
I have woo voice, which is a little bit better than the 90s when I would have to go back to school with headbanger neck. And woo voice is a little easier to deal with.
Yeah. Well, especially nowadays.
I think headbanger neck would actually literally kill me. So.
Well, let's be grateful for that then. All right, so let's be grateful it wasn't like Quiet Riot or something, Or
I never got to see them before Kevin DuBrow died.
Or Twisted Sister, or.
Oh yeah. That was. I have done my share of metal shows.
That's
true.
The big hair metal kind of sort of thing, or unless you're talking about more like the. Oh, Blue Oyster Cult, or
seen them.
Yeah, or the we kind of talked about this a little bit with our metal band recap, but
yes,
so stuff like that. But all right, so everybody here that's willing to talk Twin Peaks, well, guess what?
Me.
Me. Coincidentally enough, we're here to talk The Return Part 10.
Well, Charles.
Yes.
Can we talk about something else first really quickly?
What would you like to talk about first?
I would like to talk about the announcement that Criterion has added Fire Walk with Me to its
Ooh, yeah.
October 2017 releases.
So are you geeked about that? Because, see, I don't have a 4K TV.
I don't either.
So I'm not
Just
sure. So it's
anything
not
that
worth it for me to upgrade to the 4K release.
oh, it you don't want the Criterion color bars. Come on, Charles. um, the the thing I like about any sort of Criterion release is that you will you are getting a loving restoration.
Right.
This is not going to be a
Just
you know I love
a
you.
cheap money grab.
Yeah, I love you, Anchor Bay, but um, when you do a Criterion, you're going to get a very well restored, very well crafted. You're going to have a great package. You're going to have a great transfer. Everything's going to be great about it. And I am very excited that this movie is getting that treatment. They did a fantastic job with their treatment of Eraserhead. And I believe they did a Mulholland Drive, which I don't have yet.
That would be nice.
So they, if when movies come out on Criterion, even if I have them, I get them because I think
It's an automatic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So everybody, there's a lot to look forward to in October. We've got Criterion is doing Fire Walk with Me, and Mark Frost's second book, The Final Dossier, is coming out. So
yeah, so good gifts for Christmas coming up.
Yes.
So as far as I know, the Criterion release. Now I know that David Lynch remastered Fire Walk with Me for Blu-ray for the entire mystery set.
Right.
But apparently he went ahead and remastered it yet again for 4K.
Right.
Ultra high def.
Ultra high def, yes. So we can see Jacques Renault in ultra high def.
And there's a new Sheryl Lee interview from what I understand.
And yes, that's always good to hear from her. So Criterion is just the ultimate for movie nerd.
Yeah.
So
now I'm guessing they didn't remaster for ultra high def the missing scenes that were included with the entire mystery.
Right. I'm not sure if they
I'm guessing
did that,
those are in standard Blu-ray HD.
Probably. So I'm not sure. It's something to look forward to because Criterion does fantastic work.
Yeah. Well, if I needed another excuse to want to get a 4K television, ultra high def television, that's probably it.
Well, that would do it for sure. I know that
because I need a Garmin Bozia in ultra high def.
Oh man, it's cream corn.
The cream corn being slurped up.
That is going to look so beautiful. And those teeth, those blue teeth, that'll be great.
Or that monkey face when the magic kid reveals his mask and flashes it and reveals a monkey face and then
that's going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
I with the 4K televisions though, I don't know if my eyes are good enough to even notice the difference. I mean, I've been wearing these astigmatism glasses for almost 30 years now. So
I have contacts, so yeah, and then of course I have to do just a little completely useless digression with me. I have because of getting older, I have one contact that's for far away, one contact that's for close up, so that they kind of blur together. And that way I can look down at a cell phone and also look in the distance and read signs.
Okay.
Without having to put on glasses.
So you sort of have contact bifocals.
Kind of.
Almost.
Yeah, kind of. Because I was complaining to my optometrist, and I'm like, what's the point of having contacts if I have to wear glasses? It seems rather redundant.
It does, doesn't it?
So yeah, I'm fighting it as long as I can until my eyes finally give out and I have to cave. All right. So, but So anything else about the Criterion release you want to talk about?
No, nothing right now. I'm just very excited that it's anytime a movie gets Criterion love, it's
Right.
exciting.
It is. Oh, and we should also mention that there's the Twin Peaks panel going on at San Diego Comic Con tomorrow because this is what, Thursday the 20th.
This is Thursday the 20th, yes.
So Friday the 21st tomorrow for us here in the past. Ooh, we're in the past. That they're supposed to have that panel. So hopefully, we'll get some kind of cool announcement tomorrow. I'm guessing maybe they're going to talk about the Criterion release, and they've got a bunch of stars from The Return, including Kyle MacLachlan and Naomi Watts.
Right.
So that should be good. Dana Ashbrook, I think, is supposed to be there.
Cool.
And wouldn't surprise me if there's a surprise guest or two making an appearance.
That would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. So hopefully somebody uploads that to YouTube.
Or somebody is going to at least give us a rundown of what happened. But it's bad timing, I think,
Why is that?
For San Diego right now, because we're in the middle of The Return, and I know they're not going to want to talk too much about what's going on.
Right.
And so but
they can discuss what's happened so far.
They can discuss what's happened so far, and
because now we're over halfway through the season.
Right. I don't think they're going to have any sneak previews of the last episode or anything like that. Like if this had been last year's, if this had been last year's San Diego, they might have had a sneak preview of a little bit of the first episode, or maybe that trailer we started seeing initially. But now that we're in the middle of it, I can just see. I still think they want to keep things a secret because if they hadn't wanted that, this would have been an online series that you could have binge watched immediately.
Yeah.
So I think that
I kind of doubt that too, because remember when the return started, right up until the first two episodes aired, we really didn't get a decent trailer for that. We had no clue what to expect.
Yeah. Right. And it reminds me of that Saturday Night Live episode, that classic that Kyle MacLachlan hosted.
That is one of my all-time favorite SNL sketches. Because it's so perfect for that was such a dead-on Twin Peaks sketch.
It's a great sketch, and it's a great episode all around because it had all things Scottish, and they had the
if it's not Scottish, it's crap.
It's crap. I hate when you shout to the customers like that. But it also had the one where he was at a party. Luther Campbell was at a party, and everybody was mad at him because Two Live Crew was so terrible, and Kyle MacLachlan comes up to me. He's like, "You're horrible, but I have lyrics for you. Lick my butt." There's that one, and of course the opening where he does a Q&A session, and they said, people are asking him about him. How long you've been in the business? How do you pronounce your last name? And then somebody says, "I don't have a question about you per se, but more about the show. Are we ever going to find out who killed Laura Palmer this season?" He says, "Yeah, it's Shelley the waitress."
Right.
And it'll be the last episode. And then you hear like, "Kyle, you have a phone call."
It's David Lynch.
And all you hear is like, and you just hear, and he's like, "David, the episode's been shot. It's Shelley. They're gonna find out eventually. I mean, we already know it's her. I mean, I don't know what I did."
That was such a great monologue.
Okay. And then he comes back out and he says, "I hope you all realize that the joke I just told about Shelley the waitress is actually a joke, and because anybody who would say that deserves a great big spanking." So, but I think that's what that. There might be something like that at that panel where they joke around about it being Shelley the waitress. I don't know, but I don't think we're going to be, because we're in the middle of it. I don't think there's going to be a lot of reveals. I think they're still saving those, any sort of last episode kind of stuff. I don't think anybody who's there is going to get a sneak preview of that or anything like that. Long story short, I'm not jealous. I'm not at San Diego.
Yeah.
So,
but well, at the very least, they'll be able to see, like, you could. If you're there, if you're one of the fortunate few that actually get to go there and see that, that you get to see some of the stars,
Right.
And then maybe they'll show like some very little footage, I'm sure, from the next episode, which will be part. Let's see, part 11.
Yes.
So yeah. So
Right.
maybe they'll show a scene, one scene.
Perhaps.
That'll be it.
Perhaps. But like I said, I'm still totally fine
I think
with
they're
being
supposed to be
home.
having an advanced screening of part 11 later that weekend.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
Maybe on
think
a Friday or
yeah,
Saturday or
yeah,
something.
something like some like a special screening,
Okay.
but not during the panel.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
All right. So as far as part 10, this was a very dark episode, and I use that word sparingly because hey, it's Twin Peaks. Lots of it is dark, but
This one was
this one's pretty dark for Twin
this one
Peaks.
wasn't yeah, and this one wasn't just dark. This one was very uncomfortable
Yeah,
to watch parts of it.
this one made you squirm,
Yeah.
and I'm not just talking about that annoying freaking teddy bear.
Hi, Johnny. How are you today?
Yeah, exactly.
Hi, Johnny. How are you today?
Over and over and over and over again.
Well, I think that almost added to the disturbingness of it for
Yeah.
me because this is obviously going on when there's a children's toy in the background.
Well, yeah, it's that
And
whole like you have the childish innocence being just completely perverted by the violence
yeah, it was just
going on.
awful.
Yeah, so
It was
it's
awful.
like a big juxtaposition
Hmm.
of the two. All right, so so here we have this, and so let's dive right in. Of course, yeah, we might as well start with Richard. So this is going to be yeah, hello Johnny, how are you today?
Mm.
And
Well,
we
Richard does something terrible even before he gets there.
that's more like go away Richard,
Yeah,
which I was kind of with Miriam on that one.
yeah.
But
And once again, I don't understand people who underestimate people who they know have killed people.
yeah.
Because this does not end well for Miriam.
Well, I think Miriam is just like this sweet lady because we get a glimpse of her life, and she lives in this trailer. I don't think it's in the Fat Trout Trailer Park, or is it?
I don't think so. I don't
And
think so.
but she lives in a trailer, and she's got like all this. She's like way into Christmas.
Yes.
She's got all these holiday decorations: Santas, reindeers, the angels, and whatnot. Christmas tree in the window. So she seems like she's a rather sweet, innocent person. And she's obviously very bubbly, as we saw in the Double R Diner. So, yeah, she seems like she would be way too trusting and way too naive. And that's what ultimately I think does her in.
Right.
Not, like, not just immediately calling the cops.
Mm-hmm. And now sending a letter to Sheriff Truman. I mean,
Yeah,
come on, Miriam.
yeah, admitting that you sent a letter, which is
Right.
like,
And that's the thing.
that pretty much sealed her fate at that point.
I already sent a letter to Sheriff Truman, and blah 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 blah. And then he breaks the door. He gets in, and then you hear horrible noises and horrible screams. And then he leaves, and then you hear nothing.
Yeah, basically you get you go inside and you see Miriam face down in a pool of blood coming from her head,
Mm-hmm.
and you find out that Johnny Richard, excuse me, Richard has like turned the gas on the stove.
Yes.
And lit a candle.
And so even if she wakes up from her head injury, she's not going to wake up because of the gas. So it's almost like
it's going to go kablooey.
The candle almost doesn't even matter at this point.
Well, it's the candle's almost acting like a timer.
Right.
It's just there until the gas reaches it, and then.
Right, but it's gonna reach her first.
Yeah.
With her blood loss and her head injury, it's going to just I think it's going to be enough.
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
But
and then when he's done, who does he call? Chad. Stupid Chad.
Frickin' Chad. I hate Chad. I hate you, Chad.
We hate him even more after this episode. I didn't think it was possible to hate him more, but yes, we do. He calls Chad to make sure the police to intercept the letter that Miriam sent.
Right. And, Chad, come on. I mean, if you're just a corrupt cop that wants to make a little extra money running drugs into the town,
Right.
That's almost forgivable. But this is you hiding the fact that someone killed a little boy. You know what is
Well, we don't know. We don't know the lengths yet about where Chad will go.
Chad? Oh, Chad's
He
terrible.
seems like he's totally in with whatever Richard's doing because Richard's like all kinds of abusive toward him. For not like automatically doing what he says. He essentially pressures Chad into doing it because initially
Makes
Chad's like,
yeah.
that's way too much hassle. And so Richard's just all kinds of abusive, lays into him, but he goes along with it. And so we might as well go into that scene later with Chad and Lucy.
Right, and it makes me wonder what does Richard have over Chad?
Right. Or is it just that he's Team Richard?
I don't know. I can't even imagine wanting to hang around with Richard. He's so scary.
Right.
He's going to turn on you and he's going to kill you.
He's basically psychotic.
He is a psychopath, and if he turns on, and that's another thing too. I always watch these, or if you're watching something like Batman, where you think, why are you part of the Joker's team?
Right. He's just going to kill you.
He's just, no, my instructions are to kill the bus driver. Who's the bus driver?
Yeah.
That kind of thing where it's like you're in league with these people, or if you do something for them, they'll give you $50,000, but you have to do it first. It's like, no, you're going to do this thing for them. You're going to say, where's my money? And they're going to shoot you in the head. So,
well, maybe, these are people that he hires like henchmen that aren't that bright to begin with.
I think that's probably part of it, but
I just Chad doesn't
understand.
Strike me as a genius.
Chad is not a genius. This is true. But he, so he comes up to Lucy and he's like, oh, it's such a nice day. Right. I bet you and Andy have nice days like this. And then, of course, it gets Lucy talking in a very Lucy way. It's like, well, it depends on when we get up and, just.
And Chad could probably care less.
Chad could not care less about what Lucy and Andy do in their private life, but he's been around them so much that he knows how to talk to them. He knows
how to push their buttons,
or he knows what kind of conversation will get them going. He can't go up to them and ask something normal like one of us would do at our office, say, did you see Game of Thrones last night or something like that?
It's just a distraction tactic is what you're saying.
Right. It's complete distraction tactic. And he knows Andy and Lucy are eccentric people. And so he knows how to talk to them. So he talks about the nice day and then he sees the mailman. He's like, I'm going to go get the mail from the mailman. He's here. Well, he'll bring it in. It's just such a nice day. I'm going to spend some time out in it.
I like that Lucy's at least a little bit suspicious of Chad's motive.
She's a little bit suspicious, but unfortunately it's Lucy, so I don't think she's suspicious enough.
Well, she does watch him through the window.
Right.
As he's getting the mail. And so I kind of wonder, because of the way he got the mail deliberately with his back toward her.
Right.
So that he could smuggle Miriam's letter into his shirt. But his elbow was kind of sticking out.
Yeah.
So as he did that, so I'm wondering if Lucy saw that.
She might have, because, Lucy was the one who, I was really typing what Mike and Bobby were saying.
Exactly.
She's done some things like that.
She has those, like she can come off as like such a ditz, and then, at the like completely unexpected moment, she'll do something that you won't expect her to do, and to be savvier than she lets on.
Right. She is kind of a ditz, but she has worked for police for probably 30 years at this point.
Yeah.
So.
And since nobody likes Chad in the sheriff's
nobody likes Chad. Who hired Chad?
Yeah, I want to know who hired. Yeah.
Who the heck hired Chad?
Maybe Harry got drunk and then he was there. And then when Frank showed up, I don't know.
Maybe Harry was sicker than he thought when he hired Chad. Who knows?
Yeah.
Chad needs to get fired.
Yeah, there's a story there about who hired Chad in the first place.
Who hired and Chad? Why.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah. So Chad intercepts the letter, grabs himself a donut, and walks off. I think I'm going to have another donut.
I'm going to have another donut. Yep.
Yeah. With that big punchable face of his.
Oh, Chad.
Chad. Shakes fist.
Seriously.
So while on the subject of Richard, Chad texts Richard that, hey, I got it.
Done.
Done. Exactly.
Yep.
And so Richard even just becomes even more psychotic at this point later in the episode because he shows up at Sylvia Horne's house, and we get the revelation that, hey, Johnny Horne didn't kill himself, thankfully.
Yes, he's injured, but he didn't.
Yeah, he's got they put a helmet on him, a crash helmet, and
yes,
they restrained him to a chair in front of
right.
this teddy bear that has somehow had its head replaced with some like crazy Mr. Bill looking thing.
It's like a spaceman. It has, it has one of those
like a bowl,
spaceman helmets on it.
Yeah,
yeah, and it just says, "Hello, Johnny. How are you today?"
But it's got like the Mr. Bill mouth going. Oh,
it does,
no!
yeah. Oh no!
There's an obscure reference for you kids.
Yep.
And so he shows up immediately, like lays into Sylvia, like, give me money. And we get confirmation that, hey, Sylvia's his grandmother.
Yes, he says, "Hey, Grandma."
Yeah, so
and she, of course, is like, "Johnny, don't even come in here," but she's got the door open again.
Right. So she knows he's bad news.
Oh yeah, everybody knows he's bad news, and
yeah. So obviously, it's pretty heavily implied that, yep, Doppelganger Cooper apparently impregnated Audrey while she was in the coma.
Somebody terrible impregnated Audrey because Richard is terrible.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And if we remember, Bob was presumably still in Doppelganger Cooper at that time. So apparently, Richard has some Bob in him, which would explain why he's so psychotic.
So your Doppelganger Cooper rape theory is.
It seems that way, doesn't it?
Is coming a little bit more to fruition.
I mean, we don't have official confirmation, but because we still haven't seen Audrey.
Right, and that's the thing. I will say this, that
it's not looking good, is it?
I'm really hoping that this is not. Well, I don't know what I'm hoping for, because I don't want something that bad to have happened to Audrey.
That would be horrible.
And that's absolutely horrible. And somebody who's so terrible, like Richard,
right?
I can't imagine that being John Justice Wheeler's son either.
No, I can't either. So it's like,
I don't know who it is, and I'm not.
It's the only explanation that makes sense, unfortunately, at this point.
Something. It's just, it's really, really terrible.
Unless something like possessed Richard.
I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Who knows? So Richard, he hits Sylvia up for money. He starts choking her. So he's choking his grandmother, demanding the code for the safe. He finally gets it.
And he says he's gonna kill her and kill Johnny if he doesn't get it.
Right.
And Johnny's just in the other room, he's trying to help. He can't, and
you felt horrible. This whole scene is just so unpleasant to watch because Johnny obviously wants to protect his grandmother. Can't, because he's restrained.
That's Johnny's mother.
Right. That's true.
Mother.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you're right. Yeah, his mother. And
he can't do anything. And even if he could do something, what can Johnny do?
Right.
I will say that Johnny, like I said last time, I think that whatever Johnny's issue is, he is probably one of those people that should be wearing a helmet when he's not able to be restrained, and he is a large person, and he probably can do a lot of damage.
Right. If he has a fit or something.
If he has some sort of a fit, and so he could probably do some major damage on Richard, but Richard would not stop.
Yeah.
And, I believe Richard would kill him.
So, thankfully, Richard doesn't do anything to Johnny.
Right.
He very easily could have.
Right. He gets what he wants out of the safe, and Johnny, unfortunately, does fall over in his chair. But he doesn't touch Johnny. He just goes in and gets what he needs from the safe, and then he takes Sylvia's purse, dumps it out, takes whatever she has in there.
Right.
And
walks off.
Walks off with the money and the items he took from the safe. And
after dropping the C-bomb.
He drops the C-bomb on her, which just is...
Right.
That's one of those things where it's... When, you reserve even the most foul-mouthed person...
Yeah.
Which I can be sometimes.
Yeah.
It reserves that for...
Yeah,
someone like Richard.
yeah. I think Richard applies.
Yeah, but that's not a swear that you throw around.
It's not a quick go-to swear in the vocabulary.
No, it's not one that you throw around very lightly and
casually.
Just to think about calling your grandmother that.
It just shows you how low he is.
That's just, and Sylvia's not the
nicest person.
Been the nicest person in the world, but she's nowhere. Not even Benjamin Horne is that bad.
Well, not even Ben would. Ben, even when they were fighting, wouldn't do anything like that. He wouldn't. He wouldn't call her that. I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I don't think anything. I don't think anyone that we've seen. I don't even know if Chad would say that to his grandmother. And Chad.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. I don't think Chad. I can't see Chad. Even Chad wouldn't go there, and we hate Chad.
Chad wouldn't go there, and we hate Chad.
Yeah,
we totally hate Chad.
But apparently Chad is better than Richard. But apparently God. Richard is, I think, the absolute worst character on the show.
He's one of the worst characters ever on television, frankly.
Yeah, so far, zero redeeming value in Richard.
I'm going to make a bold statement here.
Right.
I honestly think I hate Richard more than I hate Cersei Lannister.
Ooh.
Or Cersei Baratheon,
yeah.
Actually. Yeah. I honestly think I hate Chad more than I hate him.
I'm sure she would go by Lannister, because...
She would if she could, but Baratheon is what makes her the queen. So
that's true. That's a good point.
Yeah.
All right, so Ben ends up getting a phone call from Sylvia after Richard leaves.
And this ticks me off with Ben because there's a bigger problem here than just her getting more money from him. He's like, I'm not giving you any more money. It's like, Richard almost killed me. You need to help me out here. And so apparently...
Well, she gets annoyed that Ben, first thing he does is ask how Johnny is.
Yes.
Over her.
But why wouldn't you?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the thing. And so
it's like Johnny didn't do anything bad to me, so I like Johnny. I'm going to ask about him first.
Well, and Johnny can't defend himself. Johnny's not
right.
Johnny, you would be concerned about Johnny before you'd be concerned about anybody else.
I would think so. So isn't that a little bit of selfish on Sylvia's part?
I think it is, but I also think
a little unfair, maybe.
I think it's a little selfish on her part.
Like, hey, why aren't you talking about me first?
And I think they would get to that, but I think it's also a real. It really shows you what their marriage had devolved into.
Right. It's obviously they had a very bitter divorce, apparently.
Yes, they are divorced.
Although Ben is still wearing his wedding ring.
I think that goes into what he said last week to Beverly, because he says he can't do this and he doesn't know why.
And then
I actually thought this was kind of funny. So they argue about what Richard did, and I think Ben is going to try and take care of Richard. And then they hang up, and he just goes, Beverly?
Yeah.
Do you want to have dinner with me? He's like, that's it. I got to do something good here.
Well, this is like, last week, he totally blew her off as far as, she hinted that she wanted to take their relationship further. And he's just like, no, I can't do that, like you said. And then, but now that he's talked to Sylvia, he's just like, you know what? Screw it.
Yeah.
I'm asking her out. Let's go.
Yeah. Exactly. Where it's just sort of nothing, there's nothing left to worry about. And,
exactly.
Or he just needs something nice in his life.
Like, what am I worried about now at this point?
He has a son who has severely injured himself. He has the ex-wife who he still can't get along with, even though they're in a situation where they're obviously on the same page. They obviously both think that Richard has gone too far and something needs to be done, and we still don't know what's going on with his daughter.
Yeah, as far as I mean, she could be still in a coma for all we know.
Gosh, I need to see some Audrey really soon to feel better about the world again.
And Big Ed, we still haven't gotten Big Ed.
We haven't seen Big Ed. We got to see a little bit more of Nadine this week.
Yeah, we'll get into that. Just real quick. So, okay. Anything else about Richard? Who we really hate?
Please, no more about Richard.
Yeah, I think that's enough. All right, so let's move on.
Somebody kill him, please.
So, in another charming scene, we return to the new Fat Trout Trailer Park,
which is the residence of the Burnett family, apparently.
Yeah, well, Carl, we get to see Carl Rod again, sitting in his folding chair, strumming Red River Valley on an acoustic guitar.
Which is just awesome.
Who knew Harry Dean Stanton could sing?
I did. Have you seen The Rose?
I have not. That's why
there
I don't know.
Go.
That's why I don't know. Problem solved. Mystery solved.
He plays kind of a like a Hank Williams-y, Johnny Cash-y kind of a character in The Rose.
Okay.
And so
I did not know
think
that. I was stunned. I was just like, he's actually got decent pipes. So
I know Harry Dean Stanton. I cannot say enough good things about Harry Dean Stanton.
So and of course he gets through most of the song, and then all of a sudden a red coffee cup comes flying through the window of a nearby trailer.
Yep.
I wonder if that trailer was the same spot where the Chalfonts were.
I don't know. Their name is Burnett, not Chalfont, so maybe it's illegal to be there.
That's true. That's true, because remember, it has to be Chalfonts. You're right.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
Weird, huh?
I remember there was a Chalfont before them, and there's a Chalfont before them. So, yeah. But, yeah, so we go inside and find Shelley's daughter, Becky, who we last saw looking very dreamy up at the sky.
Mm-hmm. With drugs freshly in her system.
Exactly. But she's getting the Leo Johnson treatment from Stephen, her husband. So apparently the cycle is repeating itself.
Yes, and that's again terrible and unsettling and disturbing to see. So
Stephen goes full Leo Johnson, just like, he starts abusing her verbally as opposed to, and physically. He says, quit effing speaking to me. What I do and don't effing do doesn't concern you.
Concern you, yes.
And, like he talked going on about their, crappy trailer, keeping it tidy, which is a total Leo move.
This is where we live, Shelley.
Exactly.
I'm going to show you how to clean this floor, and then you're going to do it.
Yep.
So, yeah, and I think and again, it is history repeating itself.
When I come home, I expect this place to be clean.
And I mean clean.
Yeah.
And you smoke one type of cigarettes from now on. But
that's been drilled into our heads at all.
Oh my gosh. And so that makes me wonder, what.
Well, the really interesting part comes out with this when he says, listen to me. I know exactly what you did. Exactly what you did. So what did she do?
I haven't the foggiest clue, and I'm very, very curious about it. I'm very curious about a lot of things about Becky now because, what did she do? And I, to just a quick disclaimer here, nothing she could have done would justify what Stephen is doing to her.
No, not at all.
I would like to just say that right up front.
That's an easy disclaimer.
Is she trying to get away from him? Is she trying to turn him in? Is she? What's going on with her that she's doing surreptitiously around him? Hopefully it's something good for her, or hopefully it's something that maybe Shelley's helping her with, or maybe she's squirreling away money. I don't know. I would hope it's something good. And it just, again, it makes me wonder what, first of all, who is Becky's father?
Right. We still don't know that yet.
We still don't know. And we still don't know what actually happened to Leo. Because Leo was just...
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just going to say, last time we saw Leo, he had this death spider right over him, left in Wyndham Earl's cabin.
Exactly.
And then
So
like was it Andy who entered or whatever and found him?
yeah,
And then the cage dropped, presumably, and he died.
I don't know what happened to Leo, and I definitely don't think that Shelley would have still been with Leo after. It's not like he would have just come home,
No,
you know. And I don't
especially with Bobby still around.
right, and I don't know what's going on. You know, did Shelley have a bad breakup with Bobby and then have another abusive boyfriend? I don't know what happened, but I'm very curious about this family and very curious as to what is going on with Becky that isn't Steve and drug related. You know, she must be trying to do something to better herself that's upsetting Steve.
So here we are,
So,
8 episodes left. More mysteries.
more questions.
We're supposed to be
Oh my
wrapping this stuff
goodness.
up, and here we get hit with more mysteries.
Yep.
Ugh, this show. All right. I love it, but this show.
It knows David and Mark know how to keep you hooked
They
and on
do.
the edge of your seat.
Like, just when you get a few answers, but then you get 10 more questions on top of it.
Right. Right.
All right.
Ugh.
So, all right. Anything else about this segment before we move on?
No, and unfortunately, you know, with what Carl Rod
Yeah.
says after he sees the coffee cup come flying out,
Yeah.
this is not the first time he's seen this.
It's an effing nightmare.
Yeah, it's not the first time he's seen this happen,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
just makes you feel terrible for Becky.
Yeah. I mean, Carl just seems to like, he seems to be like a tragedy magnet.
I don't
All
even
this,
know if it's
like all this stuff he just witnesses, like he just like with the kid who got hit by
yeah,
Richard, and obviously everything that went down in the Fat Trout trailer park,
in the woods when he was young,
and yeah,
and
being abducted, yeah, exactly. So yeah, he just
yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's a magnet for tragedy or if he's just been around so long that
yeah,
he's just seen it all. He's
right,
just seen everything.
yeah,
So
because
yeah,
he
I don't
doesn't
know.
go in there to try to break it up.
That's the thing. He's probably seen. I mean, if he's been managing trailer parks for a long time,
He's probably seen worse.
right? Exactly. I mean, when you manage a property and then you also live on that property, that could be a trailer park or it could be an apartment building or whatever. You're going to see crap go down with families that you just probably after a while you just say, I cannot get involved in this. I can't.
And just tune it out.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure everybody listening out there has lived in an apartment and you've heard the neighbors fight a
Right.
million times and you're like, okay, until this gets scary,
Yeah.
you
I'm just gonna
know,
stay in my
yeah,
apartment and
right.
hope they don't have guns.
Right, exactly. And until you start hearing punches or stop you're hurting me or something like that,
Right.
you can't let that affect you because otherwise it's going to take over your life too. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
It's very heartbreaking. Oh,
It's terrible.
so
It's
yeah,
really terrible.
this is such a cheery episode, isn't it?
It just reminds you that the world is full of horrible, horrible people.
Yeah. Well, let's move on to something a little bit lighter as we go to Las Vegas.
Back to Las Vegas. Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas! And the Mitchum boys, Rodney and I forget the other one, Bradley.
Rodney and Bradley and
Yep.
Candie.
And Candie. Well, see, that's why I thought we talk about that. So
Oh my gosh.
we start off with Candie in her cocktail dress showgirl outfit,
Trying to kill a fly.
trying to kill a fly, and it's a very David Lynch scene where she's at it for like minutes, following this
Yeah.
fly around, and then
Yep.
all of a sudden it lands on Rodney's head, and she whacks at it, not with her hand, but with a TV remote.
With the remote, and then it just sort of dawns on her after she does it
Right. And she
that it was Rodney's head.
yeah, and she freaks out. She's horrified by what she did, or was she? As we get a little questions later.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
But yeah, she has this hysterical crying fit. Um, and Bradley comes in, rushes to help, and then we follow that up with another scene where like The other two, Mandy and Sandy, are making drinks as Candie's still shaking in the corner.
I love that they're Mandy, Sandy, and Candie.
Exactly.
Like I think I said before that it's like the Great Muppet Caper where it's
Yeah.
Carla, Marla, and Darla.
Yeah. So I have to wonder, like, did Rodney name them? Did they name the girls, or did they?
Right? Are they their? Is that their stage
Yeah,
names, or did they just get lucky? You know.
Like, I don't know. I don't care about your name. I'm going to call you Candie. I'm going to call you Mandy. I'm going to call you Sandy.
Exactly.
It's easy to remember.
Yeah. Wait, I'm Sandy. I don't care. Whatever. Just get me
exactly.
Just get me a Tom Collins.
Can I be Mandy? No.
Not today.
Exactly. So, so that happened. We catch up with, or they're sitting there later, watching the local news, and we know it's local news because the news anchor says local news.
Well, and that's the thing they do. You know, what are we going to do next? And they have this computer generated dice roll as to what the news is going to be next. Local news, and then you see that they got Ike.
Yeah, they got Ike the Spike.
Yep.
And so you find out that Ike the Spike has been arrested, and the Mitchum boys are very happy about this because apparently Ike worked for their rival Duncan Todd, who we remember is working with apparently Doppelganger Cooper for the Glass Box project.
Yep, exactly.
Yep. It's all connected. And so they wanted Ike dead. They're very happy that he's been arrested. Part of the report, as kind of following up on one of my theories, is that includes footage of Janie E. and Dougie after they were attacked by Ike.
Right, talking about what happened.
Yeah, and you get that again. You get that quote that Douglas Jones, he moved like a cobra.
He didn't act like a victim. He moved like a cobra.
Yeah. So, which was great. So yeah, then of course you got the Janie E. trying to say that she was far more actively involved in Ike's takedown than she was, which I thought was kind of funny.
Right. She's
like, like I punched him and I kicked him and it's like,
yeah, she certainly had her moment with it, but
we didn't see all that though.
No, yeah, Dougie.
She was definitely playing that up.
Dougie, she did kind of come at him with her purse a little bit, but Dougie shoved her out of the way.
Right.
At first, so
I thought it was kind of funny that she's trying to take a little bit more of the credit. That was pretty funny. And the Mitchums realize that, hey, that guy who took down Ike,
that's our Mr. Jackpots.
That's our Mr. Jackpots. And Bradley says, turns out our Mr. Jones is actually named Mr. Jones. And Rodney replies, what an effing world.
Yep. These guys are kind of hilarious.
Although he says the F word, but I'm censoring it here, but yeah. You know what he said. You watched the show. We all know what he said.
Yes.
Exactly. So, Mitchum's make the plans to call off the hit they arranged on Ike because he's, in custody.
Mm-hmm. It's going to save them some money.
Exactly. And they want to set up a meeting with Dougie soon. And
well, what happens is that Duncan tells, I can't think of the Tom Sizemore character. What's his name?
Anthony Sinclair.
Anthony, that because he's tried to get Ike to kill Dougie twice now, and it hasn't worked.
Yeah. So Duncan Todd is like, hey, you're going to tell the Mitchums about this.
Yeah, you're going to tell them that the claim we denied for them, which is part of, I'm assuming, what Dougie's boss assumes that Dougie has figured out when he looks at the paperwork, that there's something shady with the paperwork from that claim. I'm assuming that that's what that was all about. And so what he's going to do is he's going to make the brothers kill Dougie for him.
Right.
By planting the seed that he has a personal vendetta against you.
Yeah.
And so Anthony Sinclair, he goes and tells the brothers that, and then the brothers sort of they have a little meeting with themselves. He's like, he has cost us $30,440,000. Like they added.
They add the 30 million or whatever, and then they add that amount from that Dougie won at the casino that night.
Yeah, they added the jackpot amount.
Yeah, the Mr. Jackpot amount. So before that, though, we get a little bit more of Candie, who, and this gets really interesting. Candie's quickly becoming fascinating to me. I don't know about you.
Fascinating, yeah, because who actually is she to these guys?
Yeah.
Because you can go ahead and talk about what it is she was doing.
Well, basically, yeah, so she's there in the surveillance room.
Mm-hmm.
They're traditionally as wall dressing.
Yes, just
with her and Mandy and Sandy over along the wall, and Candie's just kind of flailing her arm around, really fascinated with it for some reason.
Right.
And so Rodney says, "Hey, Anthony's downstairs. Go get him." And Candie kind of tunes him out.
Yes.
And so he gets all insistent, like, "Hey, go down and get him."
Yes, he's down there.
So she's kind of rebelling, and she goes down there reluctantly.
Is she rebelling, or does she not get it?
I think she's rebelling.
Okay.
I think she is. We'll get into
this.
Yeah,
I can't tell. I can't tell.
I can't tell. I mean, it's not crystal clear, but I kind of wonder if she's rebelling. How about that?
Right.
I wonder if she's rebelling. So she goes. She goes down. She starts talking to Anthony.
What are they talking about?
For a really long time, and it's driving the Mitchums crazy because they're watching it over the camera.
Right.
And so finally, Candie brings him up. It's like, "Hey, I got him for you."
What were you guys talking about?
Yeah, and Rodney's just freaking out by this point. He's just like, what the hell were you talking about? And she reveals that it was the weather. Because according to the local news station, there's a heat wave coming.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's important or not.
And how lucky we all are to have that the casino's air conditioned.
Exactly. And at this point, Rodney's like doing Curly Howard, slapping his forehead, going. He's just just beside himself, and just gritting his teeth, like fine. And then he's like yelling at Anthony, "Okay, what do you want?" And Candie goes back to posing. So I kind of, part of me is just wondering, she's just, I don't know, she just has this, a touch of defiance in her. And maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but.
Yeah, I don't know, because it's like, she seems like she's such a space case.
Yeah.
That I would be interested to see that she.
But she doesn't look like she has a ditzy look on her face, though.
She doesn't. She's
like she's bored with them.
She's bored with them or something. But then, Bradley Jim Belushi says, if we fire her, she has nowhere else to go.
Right.
What does that mean?
Yeah, exactly. Why do they care about these girls?
Right. He obviously
because I thought
cares about what happens.
I thought when Candie hit Rodney with a TV remote that, okay, that's it, Candie's dead.
I thought Candie was going to die when that happened. But
these are gangsters.
Yeah, she's, she feels really bad about it. What does she say? Like, how can you still love me after that or something?
Yeah, she's all free. Like, how can you still love me after what I did?
Yeah, so
which is like the total abusive victim thing.
Or are these like uncles or something? Like who, how?
Yeah, is this family?
I don't know. Yeah, because if we fire her, she has nowhere else to go.
Right.
So yeah, that's an interesting.
But
turn.
They seem to have some odd fondness for these girls, the Mitchums.
Yeah.
That we don't know yet, but it's fascinating to me.
I know.
And I kind of wonder, like, okay, what is up with Candie? Because all of a sudden she's stepped into the forefront.
Right.
For some reason. And I don't think it's just to hit, Rodney in the face with a remote.
Right, I don't know. Yeah, that is interesting. So
that's why, because I wonder if she was, like, that's why I was suspecting, well, okay, was it an accident, or did she deliberately use the fly as an excuse to hit him?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Good question. I
it's
don't know. I didn't.
there's
I honestly didn't think.
there's two ways to look at that, I think.
I honestly didn't think too much of that because of just Candie being set up as such a space case.
Yeah,
So
and it was a comedic moment, so
it was.
yeah.
Yes.
All right, so I think that's pretty much it for that storyline.
Yeah. So the brothers are now. So yes, Duncan's now getting the brothers to do his dirty work for him.
Yeah, but apparently Anthony is just so obvious about this. He's just like, what does he say
It's like
here?
you heard it from
He says,
me.
says you have an enemy in Douglas Jones, and he keeps like trying to rephrase this information over and over again. And I think Rodney at first is like, okay, I got it, and then I was wondering if he's getting suspicious because he keeps rephrasing that information.
Yeah, I'm not sure, and it's because Anthony is he's good at insurance fraud, but I don't think he's good dealing with gangsters.
No, I don't think so either. I think this is above his pay grade.
Right. This is beyond what
his
he's
skill
used
set.
to with his.
That is not in his skill set.
No, he's more used to the white collar espionage kind of.
Exactly.
Not espionage, embezzlement kind of crime.
He's used to intimidating Dougie. He's not used to dealing with the Mitchums. So.
Right.
All right. And speaking of Dougie, see what I did there?
I see what you did there.
You see what I did there? So Janie E finally takes Dougie to the doctor.
Oh my gosh.
How many episodes has it been? She's talking about taking him to the doctor, and finally it happens. And so he takes her to this guy named Dr. Ben, who's played by John Billingsley, who played Dr. Phlox on Star Trek Enterprise. Little
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's Dr. Phlox, if you're a Star Trek geek. But he's been in lots of other things, too. And on account of Dougie's acting peculiar, as Dougie says.
He's trying to listen to his heart through the stethoscope, and Dougie keeps trying. Dougie, I need to listen.
Yeah.
And there's still just, again, Dougie's acting like a 3-year-old, and everybody's kind of just fine with it. It's really bizarre.
Right. But as we know now, it's like, well, he had it was in a car accident. So.
Yeah. And they're like, have you lost a lot of weight? And you look good. And
you look good. And Janie E, because right now we have Dougie with his shirt off, so you can see Kyle MacLachlan's abs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure
always a good thing.
You were okay with that.
Oh, I'm totally fine with that.
I figured you would be.
Yeah, that's definitely something they could have gone on a little longer if they wanted it to.
You want to like have him sweep the floor like in the Roadhouse and just
draw
that out
20
for a
minutes
little
of him just in his underwear. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah. So and apparently Janie E has taken notice. She's overlooking her like, oh yeah.
He's like, well, I don't know. I have not noticed this, but my goodness, this is all of a sudden a very handsome man here.
Exactly. So they go back home. She's flirting with him. She's got bright red shoes on.
Bright red shoes on.
Because
Dougie, do you find me attractive? Yeah. I find you attractive.
And Dougie is like scooping up his chocolate cake.
He's eating cake. Yep.
And he's just, like a little kid. He's kind of like digging into it. And just like, chocolate cake. Yep. And so, and then of course, she says, I find you attractive.
Mm-hmm.
And then we cut to, oh yeah. Janie E and Dougie upstairs,
which is hilarious because Dougie's on his back, just moving his hands up and down.
he's flapping, like he's trying to fly.
Yeah, exactly.
And Dougie's got this big goofy grin on his face.
Yep.
But Janie E is riding him hard and screaming his name
to the point where poor Sonny Jim wakes up and has to hear this. I feel so bad for Sonny Jim.
Yeah. But, and then afterward, in the afterglow, basking in the afterglow, Janie E says, I love you to him,
He
And
says,
he
"Love you."
replies, "Love you."
Mm-hmm.
So going back to your theory about Cooper wanting to make love to a beautiful woman he genuinely has affection for.
Hey, yeah, perhaps that. See, and I was wondering about that.
Is Janie E the one?
I was wondering about that because Janie E has been taking really good care of him and
Right.
trying to just do everything.
And
And
trying to
he
figure out
did
how this is going to work out.
right, and he did shove her out of the way. Like that was his first when Ike the
To
Spike
protect
came.
her. To
Yeah,
protect
when
her.
Ike the Spike came at him, he immediately tried to protect her first. So, but I was also wondering. Part of me was waiting for him to call her a different name, like to call her Annie or Caroline.
Oh.
I wasn't sure if
Well,
something like that was
that would
going to
be
happen.
really awkward, wouldn't it?
That would have been really awkward, but it would have been something that would bring back Cooper.
Right.
Because
That little glimpse, like, oh, he's still in there.
yeah, because I don't think you get laid very much in the lodge. So
It's been 25 years.
yeah,
Dude needs some action, and apparently he got it.
right. And so then the next day
Oh yeah.
she's all flirty, like I can't stop thinking about last night, and
Yep, touching him.
yeah, it's actually very cute.
Yeah, it is. So that was pretty funny. So that's where we didn't get much progress bar movement on the Cooper factor, but
No, we didn't, but
who knows? Maybe
yeah.
that's this act is what hopefully helps bring him along. I don't know.
I'm starting to think Janie E wouldn't mind if she all of a sudden was married to an FBI agent named Dale Cooper.
I'm guessing she might be cool with it.
Yeah. She's like, all right, fine, whatever.
Yep. Okay. Just just pack for Tibet, I guess.
Yes, pack for Tibet.
So we probably the next storyline we catch up with really quickly. We get another installment of Dr. Amp's show, his podcast.
His video cast.
Yes, his video cast. Which, of course, Nadine Hurley is watching.
He's so beautiful.
He's so beautiful, she says.
I have a feeling we have a little bit of a Florence Nightingale syndrome going on here between her and Dr. Jacoby.
So do you think they're actually involved? Or do you think she just crushes on him from afar?
I think it's Florence Nightingale because, he probably, the night that she got hit in the head at the pageant and then goes back to being 35-year-old Nadine rather than 17-year-old Nadine.
Right.
Dr. Jacoby was there, and of course, so she's there.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
She's there with Mike, and Mike is saying, "I love you," and she's like, "Who are you, and why are you in my house?" And then she looks over and sees Ed and Norman and says, "Why is she here?" So all of a sudden, here she is. She has no memory of the last couple of weeks, months. Ed and Norma are apparently together. They've already they've already agreed to a divorce.
Right.
And the only person there that is anybody that Nadine knows is Dr. Jacoby. So I'm sure there was a lot of...
Yeah, and we don't know how long Dr. Jacoby treated her before he lost his license.
That's exactly what I was going to say next, that how long was he treating her after he lost his license? So I think, like I said, I think we have a little bit of a Florence Nightingale syndrome because she's not watching this laughing at him or writing things down, or she's not getting on the phone to order her shit shovel.
Right.
She's not going, yeah, like, when people are watching.
Apparently she's already got a shit shovel in her store window.
Yeah.
Because apparently Nadine's doing pretty well for herself.
Yeah.
She has, and I love that they went back to this, her own silent drape runner shop.
Yes, she does.
Run Silent, Run Drapes. And apparently that's a play on the title of a 1958 film called Run Silent, Run Deep.
Run Silent, Run Deep, yep.
Starring Clark Gable and Burt Lancaster.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's doing pretty well.
She's doing pretty well, yeah.
She seems rather well dressed. She's like drinking a protein shake.
It looks like some sort of secret item from the Starbucks menu.
Yeah. And she's got one of those shovels right there, front and center, in her store front window.
Yes. And so I think it's a Florence Nightingale thing more than I think it's more than that than she actually believes his political rhetoric.
Yeah.
I don't think she's watching him because she agrees with him. I mean, Nadine is kind of crazy, just like he is.
She fixates.
Yeah,
so
she's just watching him like she's just sort of watching him with this dreamy look in her eye. That it's him she's watching, not his rhetoric.
Right. So you think she's just tuning all that out, just staring at him?
I think so, and I think anything he offers, she's going to buy. So.
Got it bad, got it bad, got it bad. She's hot for Jacoby.
Hot for Doctor.
Dr. Amp.
Exactly. So, yeah, and again, we still haven't seen Big Ed, so I'm assuming Big Ed is living with Norma, but I don't know for sure.
Where's Ed?
We got to see some Ed.
Yeah, exactly. So then we catch up with Jerry Horne.
Yes.
Who is still in Ghostwood Forest. I swear to God, I hope he's there like for the rest of the series.
I know. I keep thinking that Jerry's going to be there when the lodge opens.
That would be great. That would be magnificent.
That's why he's stuck there.
So
he's stuck in some sort of vortex of the lodge opening or something like that.
So of course I have to do this.
Yes, please.
I think I'm high. I think I'm high. And so he has another moment. Now he's yelling at someone. And he says, "You can't fool me. I've been here before."
I've been here before, yes.
So, abduction?
That's the thing. I don't know. Or has he been to the lodge? Or, what? I mean, everybody who grew up in this town has been in those woods and has probably come running out of it a little creeped out at some point. But I don't know what's going on with that.
I laugh so hard every time he's on now.
Oh,
he's just great comic relief at this point.
He's so fantastic. So, good job, David Patrick Kelly.
Exactly. Almost makes me forget you were such a douche in The Crow, but.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But he's no matter what he does, he still gets to be one of the most. He's still in one of the most iconic scenes in all of cult film, because in the Warriors.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The with the bottles on his hands.
Is he the bottle guy?
He's the bottle guy.
Where they go clink, clink, clink.
Warriors,
come out and play.
That is David Patrick Kelly.
Oh, I didn't realize that's him.
So, yeah,
I didn't realize he's the come out and play guy.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize that either until recently. But yeah, he's.
So I learned something today.
I know, right? He gets to be the most iconic scene in all of the Warriors.
Yeah.
But yeah. Come out to play.
He gets the biggest catchphrase of the movie.
That's what everybody remembers from the Warriors, are those bottles in his hands.
Yep. You're right.
So.
You're right. So
he's done some good work.
So that's our catching up with Jerry for this week. Tune in next week when he's still high in Ghostwood Forest.
When he's still in the woods with another foot that is not his foot.
Same foot time, same foot channel.
Same foot channel.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the next storyline that we haven't already covered is Gordon Cole. And so
and Tammy are watching afar as Albert goes on a date.
Albert is having a dinner date with Constance Talbot, the medical examiner. And
he's enjoying himself.
And he's laughing and smiling. And we have Gordon and Tammy like almost chaperoning from the back. They're just watching from afar. They're like
so adorable.
It's so this is the cutest thing ever.
Oh my gosh. And he's just watching him smiling like he's like a dad watching his son go on his first date.
I don't think Albert knows they're there.
I don't know if he knows they're there either, and I'm assuming they're probably in. It looks like they're in one of those sort of old school fancy steakhouses,
right?
So which might just be connected to their hotel or something like that.
That's what I'm thinking. Like it was a hotel dining room, maybe.
Something, I don't know, but they seem to be having a good time.
Yep, I think so.
Oh my goodness, Albert.
Yep. It's kind of hilarious that okay, I know it's sad that Miguel Ferrer is no longer with us.
So sad.
But the idea that Albert gets a romance before we no longer are able to see him,
I think that's wonderful.
is great. It's great.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely wonderful.
Just this constantly miserable guy finally finding that someone he actually likes,
and they are obviously two peas in a pod,
hitting it off.
They're hitting it off. They're two peas in a pod. It's never going to be, she's never going to be grossed out by what he does for a living because she kind of does the exact same thing.
Exactly.
So
and she's got that kind of dark, twisted humor he has.
Right. And she's sort of cynical about it. And so I'm sort of hoping that maybe she gets to go to the FBI too, or something. I don't know. Or maybe Albert's gonna go work at the Buckhorn Field office or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
That'd be so great.
That would be great. So curious to see what more they do before the series ends. But just thought that was great.
Yeah, so cute.
So in a rather bizarre moment, now we switch to Gordon sitting in his hotel room. He's sipping Bordeaux and drawing what looks like a tree growing out of a lizard dog thing.
What is that?
Because it's shown upside down, but if you want to go online, you can see the picture turned around.
Yeah.
To see what he's looking, but it's like a hand is really stretched out, like it's like Mr. Fantastic or something, reaching for this lizard dog thing with a tree growing out of it. I have no idea what that means.
I have no idea what that means, and it would make more sense if it was a frog with wings.
Yeah.
But I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it has absolutely nothing to do, but so he gets a knock on the door. He opens the door, and who does he see?
Donna, are you my best friend? It's that
moment,
Laura.
yeah, from Fire Walk with Me. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's the "Are you my best friend" scene, but it's just Laura, like all, crying and distraught, and Gordon's obviously taken aback by this. And you notice we also heard the Laura,
honey, yeah,
from
Not Sylvia,
Sarah Palmer, from the pilot.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. Maybe it's another connection to Sarah Palmer, perhaps.
And who actually is at the door?
Yeah, who's at the door? It's Albert.
Yeah.
So
that's even weirder.
So is there a Laura Albert connection going on here?
I don't know. I have no idea. Or maybe it's just something's following those guys. Maybe it's
or just coincidence.
Or is it the essence of the blue rose follows these guys around? I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
I don't either. Or maybe Albert's a sensitive. Maybe I don't know. Just that.
He spends his time studying Gandhi and King.
Right.
So Albert is a little more. There's more to Albert than
exactly.
Just the brash exterior.
He's open to expanding his mind and consciousness.
Absolutely, he is.
So maybe he's like sensitive to Laura's spirit roaming through this story.
And as we're going to find out later, it's Laura's the key.
Yeah. Now, it is interesting that was, like you said, the "Are you my best friend" speech.
Right.
So, because the next thing we get is Albert there to tell him that, hey...
He has some terrible, terrible news!
Yeah, Diane received a text from Evil Cooper, Doppelganger Cooper. The around the dinner table, the conversation is ready
Lively.
Text, and she replied back. So they have Hastings. They're going to take him to the site.
So he knows. So what is going on, Diane Evans? What are you doing?
So again, we're wondering what is up with Diane.
Oh, this is
not what I wanted for Diane. If I was going to see Diane, this is not what I wanted for her.
So is Diane being pressured by Doppelganger Cooper? Or is my theory is she something more going on?
Is there something more? Does she not understand
Is
who
there
he
something,
really
a
is? Or
doppelganger inside her?
right? And I was thinking about this after we talked last time
Right.
about her having the white hair, and is there something going on with her?
Yeah.
She's so jaded, and F you, Gordon, and just in all the different
Right.
all the different guys she's with every. Or what does Albert say? She has a plethora of suitors or something like that.
Exactly. Yes.
And so, she has this sort of numb, she's always drinking.
Who does that
She,
remind us of?
yeah, she's getting different guys all the time. I mean, I don't think she's a whore. I just think she's doing this to
No,
be
she like
further numb.
exactly like she's trying to forget something.
Right. So, and she's constantly like, F you, Gordon, I want to go home, or F you, Albert. She really doesn't have a whole
She's angry.
lot to say until the scene outside the prison where she says, it's something in his heart. Like, it's almost like she's trying to tell Gordon something more than she's actually telling him.
Right.
And then after Gordon is talking, and in this episode, after Gordon is talking to Albert, he says, I could feel it when she hugged me.
Yeah. So, no, I kind of wondered, like, that scene, it was like a couple episodes back where they're sharing a cigarette outside
Yes.
the medical examiner's office. I wondered if Gordon was testing her with that. By asking her a question like, hey, remember when we shared cigarettes together? And it would turn out that, oh, guess what? We didn't share cigarettes together. I was totally lying, and you fell into my trap.
Something. I'm wondering something like that too, because when she finally was very emotional about Cooper, and she says, it's something I can feel it in his. It's something's missing in his heart. It reminded me of that scene, the one that just rips my heart out every time I see it in Fire Walk with Me, where it's after the dinner, the no one's eating anything until Laura washes her hands.
Oh yeah.
And then Leland comes into her room.
Speaking of unpleasant scenes in Twin Peaks.
Oh, that one is really hard. And then he walks into her room and he just says, Laura, honey, I love you so much. And it's that and even before that, where he's sitting on the edge of the bed and Bob goes to sleep and Leland comes back again, and you can tell that Leland comes back again. Maybe that's what's going on with Diane.
And he feels horrible about what Bob did.
So bad. He feels so bad. And maybe that's what's going on with Diane, that there are moments sometimes where Diane's back.
That's what I'm wondering. Yeah, that's certainly. I mean, we don't know for sure, and this is just pure speculation on our part. But
David Lynch, please don't make everybody bad.
Well, if she's possessed, then
it's
not really her, is it?
It's not really her, but it's like I don't want this for these characters,
No, but yeah. So we'll find out. So hopefully it's just maybe Doppelganger Cooper is blackmailing her or something.
Something. Yeah, he's got something on her, or I don't know.
We'll find out. But speaking of Doppelganger Cooper, Tammy comes in at that moment, shows them a picture of the Doppelganger as the mysterious billionaire who financed the glass box operation.
Yep.
So it's pretty clear that there's that connection. So
that has come to pass. He is our mysterious benefactor.
Which of course ties him to what's his name? Oh shoot.
Duncan?
Duncan, thank you. Duncan Todd.
Yes,
Duncan
Todd.
So we got confirmation on that. And let's see what else. Our last scene. And this is another powerful scene. The log lady.
Oh my God. Yes.
Closes part 10. So big props to the late Catherine Coulson. As I'm showing my log lady Funko figure.
Yes, Charles is showing the lug lady Funko figure. Don't show me any more Funko figures.
Why?
Don't even.
You gonna start crying?
No. I thought you were going to show me the other one that you showed me.
Oh, no. I told you I wouldn't do that again.
Thank you.
I promise you I'm not going to do that again.
Thank you.
I thought it was safe. That's why I brought out the log lady. I figured the log
lady
was
safe. Oh, the log lady's totally safe. Yes, the log lady's totally safe.
I was trying to figure. I was like, okay, what's wrong with the log lady here? So
no, aside from the fact that I just want to cry every time I see her because she's just so wonderful, and she's no longer with us.
And it was so heartbreaking, but thankfully we got another scene with her.
We did.
I don't know if we're going to get more, but at least we got one more scene.
Yep, we sure did.
She calls Hawk again, and she tells him, Hawk, electricity is humming.
Electricity.
Electricity, yes. You hear it in the mountains and rivers. You see it dance among the seas and stars and glowing around the moon. But in these days, the glow is dying. What will be in the darkness that remains? The Truman brothers are both true men.
True men.
True men. They are your brothers, and the others, the good ones who have been with you, now the circle is almost complete. Watch and listen to the dream of time and space. It all comes out now, flowing like a river, that which is and is not. Hawk, Laura is the one.
Laura is the one. Yep. It all comes back to Laura.
It does come back to Laura.
So this is...
And obviously with Gordon's vision of Laura, she's out there somewhere.
Laura's out there somewhere, and she's going to... Hopefully she'll be in time to do what she needs to do for all of us.
Yeah.
But
one of the popular theories I'm seeing online is wondering if Laura is going to be the spirit of vengeance that goes around to all these women that are being treated like crap by men, and somehow gets vengeance for them, for these women, like a avatar of justice somehow.
That I would like that. I mean, there's more I'd like her to do, but I would like it if she did that as well. And then,
but she's obviously has this, to deal with Doppelganger Cooper.
Yeah, she's got to deal with him, but he's pretty bad to women. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I'm just wondering, maybe is building up, wondering if somehow we get a scene where Laura goes after Stephen Burnett, or then goes after Richard.
I'd love it if she went after Richard because, hell hath no fury like a woman trapped in the lodge.
Right. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And I just, what's going to break my heart, though?
What?
Is if Laura's coming back, James is going to probably see her.
Oh, you think?
I think that people are going to see her, I think. And I think one of them is going to be James. And I think it's going to rip everybody's heart out when that happens.
Yeah, kind of like how Maddie saw Bob.
Sort of, or just even, or even like how Bobby got so emotional when the photo of Laura was out on the conference room table.
Right.
Just that it's going to, people are going to, it's going to be like the end of Fire Walk with Me, where she's going to be there and seeing everybody and crying and flying away again or something like that. And everybody's just going to lose their freaking minds. And it's going to be gorgeous.
Maybe she'll be like an angel or something.
Something. Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
Faster and faster.
Right.
The angels won't save you. So yeah, I'm not sure, but I think it's gonna, by the end of this show.
Yes.
Our hearts are going to be ripped out through our nostrils, I think.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And for more than one reason.
Just don't end it on a cliffhanger. That's all we're asking.
Oh my God, please. Yes.
Give it an actual ending.
If it's going to be a cliffhanger, make it be like, okay, how is Richard going to die? I mean, we all know he's going to, if it's going to be one of those Batman things, but, Richard's over a vat of acid, that's fine with me. I can handle that.
But obviously it would be great to see Laura take out Richard.
Oh, that would be so wonderful.
And why don't you take out Jeopardy Chad while you're at it, just for
please. Yes. Yeah. Just for good measure.
Maybe like an appetizer.
Something. Yeah. Just a 1-2 punch. Just get them both.
Get them in the same room together and take them out.
Yeah.
And throw in Stephen Burnett while you're at it too.
That would be fantastic.
He's got to come in too.
Yeah. See, Stephen Burnett, I mean, I have been accused, I don't want to say accused, but I have been known to be extremely sympathetic
towards addicts.
Right.
I think addiction is a very misunderstood disease, and I'm very sympathetic towards addicts, but not addicts who beat their wives. That's when I am done.
Especially when you're like Steven, who's like a loser who can't get a job.
Steven's a loser and can't get a job because he's an addict.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's one thing to be an addict and be.
But then he's like blaming. He's blaming his wife.
Yeah, but he's an addict and he's just a horrible man.
Yeah.
And so that's when, like I said, I can be extremely sympathetic, but the second you lay a hand on your wife, I am done with you.
Yeah.
That's
definitely a line that you should not cross. And
no, ever.
That's it.
No, absolutely.
I'm totally with you on that.
Yep.
So we end the episode, thankfully, something upbeat, or at least hopeful.
Yes, something hopeful.
Rebecca Del Rio, who, if you saw the movie Mulholland Drive, did a killer Spanish version of Roy Orbison's Crying in that movie.
So, yeah, beautiful. She's got a beautiful, beautiful voice.
Holy crap, her voice. So,
and what'd you think of her dress?
Yeah, her dress in here with the Black Lodge floor pattern.
The black and white chevron pattern.
The zigzag, the chevron pattern. That's nice.
Yeah. No, believe me, that's what it is. I've been looking for flooring and carpet that looks exactly like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you get carpet like that, I gotta check that out.
That's gonna. Yeah, that's. I have some picked out. I just need to.
And then paint the walls red, and that'd be fantastic. That'd be fantastic.
I know, right? That's part of the Pez room is the idea is for it to be kind of also a Twin Peaks room, because I have that sort of antique chair in there, and then I'd like to do red curtains and black and white chevron carpet. That's the plan.
That's what I would love to do with my comic book room, because that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But yeah, Rebecca Del Rio, Moby is playing on guitar in this.
Moby's on guitar. Yeah, check him out.
Yeah, but yeah, Rebecca Del Rio, another powerful version. The song called "No Stars," which apparently she did on one of her albums in 2011.
Okay.
Co-written by David Lynch.
Yes.
But she does it again here, and it's almost like a 5-6 minute song, but it's really good.
Exactly, it's really good, and it cushions the blow a little bit, because every time, I feel so bad because every time I see the Roadhouse, I'm like, damn it.
Yeah. But it was good to like scrape some of that scum of this episode off.
Oh yeah, you had to. This was definitely an episode where you kind of wanted to take a shower afterwards.
Yeah, so you could just kind of lose yourself. It's a very like dream pop song, and you just lose yourself in it. Just like I could see Julie Cruz doing this song.
I could too. It was that sort of haunting,
melody,
echoey, ethereal sort of. Yeah, I could have definitely seen that as well.
So I thought that was great. All right. So anything else about this episode that I forgot? Or I think I pretty much got everything.
No, not that I can think of. I think we did it pretty well chronologically, and we addressed all the disturbing things and all the fun things. Albert on a date is one of my all-time favorite things that I've ever seen on this show.
That was so unexpected, but it was just magnificent.
That was so fantastic.
That was great. And of course, Jerry's always awesome. So
Jerry's so fantastic.
Currently one of my favorite things in this show is
Jerry. Well, and when we first saw him,
I was never that big of a fan of Jerry in the classic series.
Well, yeah, Jerry in the classic series was just sort of another way to, he was.
He's like Ben's sidekick.
Yeah, he was like Ben's sidekick, and just another way for you to realize that this family is like totally screwy, and they're just kind of jerks in it for money.
Right.
And now that they're older, they're definitely more mellow. Both of them are definitely more mellow.
Especially Jerry.
Especially Jerry. But in that first episode where Jerry is eating the baked banana bread, the double baked banana bread.
Yes.
And he's just sitting there. I just thought, and he's in his aging stoner Pacific Northwest hiker outfit. I'm like, this is exactly where Jerry would have gone. The second marijuana was legal in Washington State, Jerry would have been all over that.
Right.
This is
he would have probably been he would have been mellowed out after all the years of travel and, all the ice queens that he had vetted. And so I just thought it was so perfect. And I loved their relationship when they were sitting together and he was talking about Beverly, and Ben says, Respect. And he's like, that's never talked to before. Sock it to me, sock it to me, sock it to me. I mean, I think their relationship as brothers is very well done.
Well, they pick on each other like brothers do.
Yeah, I think they did a good job writing them as with their relationship as brothers, and then with Jerry,
you can believe it.
Yeah, you can really believe it. I think they're well crafted. I mean, anything with Lynch is well crafted characters, but specifically Twin Peaks has always been very well crafted characters, and so we are seeing such a different side of Jerry, and he's so enjoyable and he's so funny. I think it's just. Whenever you see him, and he's not necessarily, I know we tend to get impatient with some of the things that do not advance the plot very much.
Right.
Because we want some answers and we just want to know that everything's going to be okay and we want to see all the people we want to see. But every time you see Jerry, you're like, okay, this is going to be good. All right, I'll take a Jerry interlude. That's fine with me.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it. So that's
it's
great.
definitely worth it.
All right. So do you have a rating for this episode?
This episode is an 8 out of 10 talking teddy bears.
Oh, you stole mine. I have to come up with something new.
Oh no! Did I actually steal yours?
Well, I said annoying teddy bear robot. So I'll come up with something new here. So let's see.
And again, this one's losing points for just its sheer disturbing nature of it. There's nothing. Right. There's nothing technically wrong with the episode. It's just it was so hard to watch.
I was going to be totally in sync with you. I was going to give this an 8. Until the log lady scene at the end.
Then now it has a 9?
That brought it up to at least an 8.5 for me.
Okay.
So I'm going to do 8.5 freaky drawings of lizard dogs with trees growing out of their foreheads.
8.5 tree growing lizard dogs. All right, that works.
8.5 lizard dog drawings. Let's put it that way.
That works.
All right. So we got some feedback.
Cool. So
first feedback we got was on Facebook from everybody's favorite feedback, Ivan Ivanov.
All right. Yes. Thank you for the phonetic spelling or phonetic pronunciation.
Yeah. Apparently, Ivan, as we now know, that's apparently the proper Bulgarian pronunciation. So Ivan writes in. Was he right here? Okay. So he goes, hello again, dear jackpots.
Good job, Ivan.
Yeah, that was well played. So, hello! Right back at you. Thank you so much for mentioning my post on the podcast. I feel such honor to take a part in the reviews. It's Ivan with an E, the Bulgarian way. But I also like the American sounding too, so it goes both ways as you prefer. Great episode again. I listened. Thank you very much. Nice points you both put out. So let me ask a question. Do you happen to believe that in our world there may be spirits like Bob for real? Are you open to that kind of presence that we don't necessarily see? So I'm going to pose that question to you, Zan, before I continue.
Do I think that there are? Yes. Short answer. Yeah. Short answer, yes with a but. Long answer, no with a maybe.
Very nice.
I do believe that we do not understand fully the energy in the universe. And that there are definitely different energies within the universe that can affect living things.
Right. Forces,
yes, exactly. I've been from one end of this galaxy to another, seen a lot of strange stuff.
Very nice, very nice.
But I do believe that there's energy in the world, in the universe, that can affect us. Now, do I necessarily think it's something that can possess us in such a specific way like a Bob? God, I hope not. Not necessarily. I don't necessarily think that that's how that would work. But I do think that that negative energy is an extremely powerful force, the same way positive energy is.
I totally agree with you on that. It's hard without empirical evidence to really grasp that, okay, maybe there's like demonic spirits that could possess you, but there are things like exorcisms, and I think it's kind of like the height of arrogance to dismiss everything without really understanding it.
Well, I think
so it's like, that, there may be something out there that may be okay. It's beyond our understanding. So I'm willing to keep an open mind. I'm not sold on it, but I'm willing to keep an open mind about it.
Definitely. And yes, with things like exorcisms, is that actually a demon from hell, or is that some sort of negative energy that we don't understand? I think man's hubris has definitely put us in the position of thinking we understand more than we actually do. And that's all I know. All I know is that I know absolutely nothing.
All's I know. Exactly.
And so, and just the universe is vast, and there's more to it than what we understand.
Exactly.
And so Yvonne, I could go on about this for a million hours, but
yeah. This is like this big metaphysical question that we're just a Twin Peaks podcast. We're not really equipped to deal with that.
Right. Next time I'm in Bulgaria, let's get a bottle of wine and we will discuss this properly.
Exactly.
Or next time you're here. Next time you're in the United States, particularly Ohio.
There you go. So but thank you for the very thought-provoking question on that.
Yes, definitely.
All right, so Yvonne to continue with his email. He says, as for doppelganger Laura, we don't see her get out of the lodge, yes. That was my argument.
Mm-hmm.
And she had blonde hair, not white as Bob, right? But, Bob's hair wasn't exactly white.
No, Bob's was like this disgusting dirty gray.
It was like a dirty blondish gray, exactly. So, just the possession turned Leland's hair white.
Right. Nothing against Frank Silva's appearance. I think they made him look greasy.
Yeah, exactly. That was the character, not the actor.
Right.
And what's more, Leland was dancing rather than singing because of the little man from another place.
True.
So is doppelganger Laura in Diane? I don't know, but I like that theory from Charles. Charles, you are the man. No, Yvonne, you are the man. I wish I could be the man, but you're the man. So
yes, you are the most important person because you are our listener. All of our listeners are our most important people in our lives right now.
We pale in comparison.
Yes.
So it's a great podcast, but Team Zan again.
Yeah, baby.
Where'd that come from? I thought you were like, I'm the man, and then okay, whatever. All right.
Well, we both have our valid theories.
I see where your loyalties lie. I see where it is. I see how this game is played. That one with Jerry was so funny. I thought he was like Mr. Bean going through the lodges with no clue whatsoever. Ha ha ha. Nice. Let's see. And play that I think I am high thing again. So funny.
Do it again. Do it for Yvonne.
I think I'm high. Oh, and you got a little notification chime in there as well. So
I think I'm high, and Charles just got an email.
Exactly. Ding. All right.
I don't know where my car is.
Yeah, so he says, well, thanks again for the great job you're doing. Best wishes from Bulgaria. Then he writes in 9 hours later, to the same post. So we get like Yvonne the sequel. Here are some of my theories. Did you notice that Evil Cooper lost his timbre voice, or I think it's probably more like a deep resonant voice or whatever, that sounded a little too deep and kind of heavy. When he was presented in episode 1, and I think Yvonne's right about this. In his car, the song was on. the song was also, what is he saying here? I guess the song was also kind of deep and heavy voice. Oh, he's talking about probably when he was talking on the phone in his
Okay.
car. That his voice, like when he was like talking to Diane. He said, or
I knew
Gordon.
it was.
Yeah, he
I
did
knew it
that.
was going to be you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, talking
I have
about
not noticed that.
yeah. So it was almost like a drunk man is singing. So, well, my theory is that anytime we hear such a voice, it indicates the presence of a spirit. In the case of Doppelganger Cooper, that was Bob. So that would kind of make sense
Hmm.
that, well, hey, he doesn't have that voice when he's talking with Hutch and Mrs. Hutch, Chantal, when he comes back.
Yeah,
So was that because Bob was ripped out of him by the woodsman?
that is a really good question.
That's what I'm asking. Yeah.
And again, are we going back now to my um, Dark Crystal theory that there's there's a good and evil half in all of us, and not half. There's a good piece and an evil piece, and some of us are
Right.
99 to 1, and some of us are 50-50, and some of us are 99 to 1 the other way. And are these two separate pieces of the same entity? And so even though Bob is gone, we still have the evil part of Cooper, which, as we know, what I want and what is right are two very different things.
Right.
So, interesting.
It's definitely something to ponder, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good theory there, Yvonne. Some other theory of mine is that suggests that Cooper will wake up and not die when he finally gets his hands on a batch. I'm not sure what he means by a batch.
I'm thinking the same thing, but I think it's pie.
Oh, I tend to agree too.
I think the second he gets some cherry pie in him.
Yeah.
And seriously, come on, people. How long does it take the FBI to see the news from Las Vegas?
I know, right? I mean,
come on.
the Mitchums paid attention, but the FBI isn't.
I know what this is like.
Maybe Gordon.
Yeah.
Gordon, how about you stop drawing like weird, freaky lizard dogs and turn
Watch
on the damn
TV,
turn on the
dude.
damn news?
Seriously, or maybe what's going to be even better?
What?
Denise is going to call him and say, "Have you seen what's going on in Las Vegas?" I would love that.
That would be great.
That'd be so great. I love Denise so much.
Yeah, we need another Denise scene.
Yes.
Totally agree. Okay, so back to Yvonne's second email, or Facebook post. So if you notice anytime he tries that, somebody is saying don't. Maybe that's the key. We'll see. And one more comes from Firewalk with Me. I think that Laura at the end, when she finds her angel again, her guardian angel, let's say the one that disappeared from the painting on her wall,
right?
That for me represented no hope, you're going to die. And then Ronette was saved by hers, and Laura was killed. But at the end, we see that guardian angel appear, and that for Laura means there's still hope. And next to that scene, we see Agent Cooper looking for her, or holding her by the shoulder, almost like that he's hope, and that guardian angel. He will save her somehow, I believe. So that's my thoughts on the topic. And again, it's really interesting for me to watch the show and listening to you guys. Looking forward to the next episode.
So are we.
Thank you, Yvonne. So Yvonne's rather chatty today.
Yeah, thank you, Yvonne. And yes, anybody else, if you've got theories, shoot them our way.
Exactly. So yeah, obviously on the Facebook page. And then we got a YouTube comment real quick by Vesuvi Timo. Apologies if I totally butchered that name, Vesuvi.
Yes, let us know what we've done wrong with pronunciations, please.
And thankfully, Vesuvi is writing nice comments as opposed to Tachyon Time Lord, who is apparently going through each of our posts on YouTube and unliking the post. And
thumbs down?
And he's giving thumbs down to every post, which apparently is like, okay, well, if you don't like one episode, why are you still listening to the others?
So he's just going through Southgate Media and not liking everything?
Or at least ours. So
okay.
and then he's like, apparently we're not talking about the stuff he wants to talk about because he comments and says like, like, oh, there was this, and no, this was wrong. What you're doing,
Well, don't
saying
give us
is
a thumbs down.
wrong.
Tell us what you want to hear.
So yeah, it seems like it's trolling more than anything. So I don't know.
Well,
but you're
not nice about what you want, then we're not going to give it to you.
Exactly. But that's tacky on Time Lord. So if you see if you're wondering who the one person that doesn't like our things are on our YouTube posts, it's tacky on Time Lord.
Okay.
So now you know. I'm calling you out, dude. So Vesuvi thankfully writes in to one of our our Part 9 post, and he says, something was mentioned in the above podcast, the comments about Cooper getting his actual body back again, that led me to believe that Zane and Charles were under the impression that Mr. Slee / Doppelganger Cooper was Dale Cooper's real body, only possessed by the Bob spirit. But it's my impression that Mr. C is the doppelganger of the good Dale with Bob's essence in tow, who was able to leave the waiting room of the lodges at the end of season 2 using the extracted soul of Wyndham Earl. So the good Dale's So his theory is that the good Dale's actual body was never out of the alternate dimension until it passed through the electrical outlet in season 3. If I misunderstood, if I misunderstood your comments, I apologize for adding my 2 cents. Never apologize for that.
No, please add your 2 cents. We want to hear everybody's 2 cents.
Exactly. Give us 3 cents. Hey, for the cost of inflation.
Seriously.
Enjoying these podcasts immensely. So thank you, Vesuvi.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you so yeah, we obviously I wrote back and said, hey, thanks for listening. I thought he made a good argument, but okay, so if his argument is that Cooper's actual body never left the Black Lodge until he went through the electrical outlet from that space limbo realm.
Right.
Because apparently, my question was, okay, if that's the case, then why did Cooper glitch up when he tried to, you get that little glitching error noise when he tried to leave the Black Lodge in the season 3 premiere, which forced him to go the route of going through the space limbo realm. Which of course, so it's like, okay, so why was that glitch? My other question was, and why would Dougie be transported to the waiting room if his body was already separate from Cooper's?
See, yeah, that's what I don't understand either, and why...
Because remember, Dougie was supposed to be a decoy to throw off the Black Lodge from reclaiming Doppelganger Cooper.
Right, and remember Dougie has the ring? Ring?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm wondering, now that I'm thinking about this, when Dougie went, I'm starting to think that a lot of this stuff was happening all at once, and we're just seeing it chronologically because of the show. But did Dougie get transported into the lodge the same time that Hastings was with Major Briggs when he lost his head?
Right.
And was there a ring switch? Oh my gosh, Siri just turned on. Shut up, Siri. Shut up, Siri. He's talking about Major Briggs.
Siri's been possessed by Bob. Ah!
Siri wants to add 2 cents too. So anyway, is the reason, was the ring supposed to be in Major Briggs' stomach?
Right.
But it's Dougie's ring because of that switcheroo. Did something happen?
Oh, that's a good question.
Was there a problem with the rings because of that?
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Well, maybe. Originally it was the Black Lodge ring in Major Briggs, but that got swapped out.
Right, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. I see where you're going with. I get it now. So that's a good question too. Oh, so much to ponder. But thanks for Yvonne and Vesuvi for writing in and sharing your feedback. So just want to give shout outs to those guys for that. So thanks, guys. Zan, where can they reach you on the internet?
Well, I am on Facebook as Zan Sprouse.
Yes.
And I am on a much neglected Instagram account.
Right.
As Udinax19, and that's also my Twitter handle, Udinax19, where I'm a little more active.
Yes. So definitely check her out both places and on Facebook because she's awesome. And
what about you, Charles?
Well, I'm, of course, I'll give Ghostwood here in a minute. So I'm, of course, at Charles Skaggs on the Twitter machine and at Charles Skaggs on the Instagram, which has also been a bit neglected. But hopefully it won't be because I'm going to be taking a vacation here shortly. So I'll get some pictures.
Where are you going?
I'm not going to say. I'm going to leave it a surprise.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'll tell you off air.
All right.
I'll tell you off air. But yeah, so hopefully soon on that. Google Plus for all you crazy kids in the Google Plus, and Facebook, of course, at Charles Skaggs, and my blog at Geeky Things. Damn good coffee. And hot. Damn good coffee and hot. We're right about Twin Peaks and Ghostwood and all kinds of comic book and sci-fi geek news. And with San Diego Comic-Con going on this weekend, I'm going to probably have a lot of posts to write this weekend, so I'll probably be very busy. And but so please check that out, and that's a great way to keep track of our Ghostwood when our Ghostwood podcast is released. In addition to our Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks Podcast Facebook page when we post new episodes. But you can also reach us at Ghostwoodcast on the Twitter machine. And if you want to email us, you can reach us at ghostwoodpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can, reach us on the Facebook page or the YouTube, like Yvonne and Vesuvi did.
Yep.
So obviously that works. So
that's good to know.
And don't be like Tachyon Time Lord. Yeah.
Well, if he's just going to be negative, let's not talk about him anymore.
All right, he doesn't exist now. So which will probably amp up his trolling even more.
Well, if he wants to submit something that we can talk about, that'd be fine. There's just no reason to be mean about it.
Yeah. Don't be a jerk about it.
Hey.
Well,
don't be mean.
Okay, you're right.
You don't have to be mean because no matter where you go, there you are.
Exactly. Wise words from Buckaroo Banzai.
Yes.
I stand corrected.
Yes.
All right. So let's see. So I think that about does it. Next time, of course, we're going to talk about the return part 11 as we're slowly heading toward the finish line.
Oh, my goodness.
Far too fast, in my opinion, because I'm really digging this season.
I am too.
This is it was completely unexpected, and it's a welcome unexpected thing because I'm just pleasantly surprised by what we're getting.
It's been wonderful so far.
Yeah, and hopefully that will continue as all these divergent storylines start
come together.
They're coming together. So we're already seeing some movement finally. So it's all coming together. So be patient. And then I think that about does it. So we'll talk to you next time right here on Ghostwood, the Twin Peaks podcast. See you next time.
Next week, everybody.
Bye-bye.